Friends, in this video, we're going to talk about the power of practice. Why is practice so important in everyone's life? Anyone who wants to be the best in whatever he does has to understand the importance and relevance of practice in achieving his goals. Consistent practice has the power to transform an average person into an excellent person. And this concept applies to anyone and everyone, no matter if you are a student or whether you are a working professional or whether you are a sportsman. It applies to everyone equally. If you want to be the best in your field, then you need to practice. You need to understand the importance of practice. For example, if you are a student and you are studying a particular set of subjects, the more the number of times you revise your subject, the more you dwell in depth into your subject, the more sources from which you gather information about your subject, the more knowledge you'll gain about your subject. And the more in-depth knowledge you have about any subject, the more chances you have to be the best in your class or in your competition, as obviously you're going to have a much broader vision of the subject. Your knowledge base is going to be much bigger as compared to what other students of your class have. The same thing applies for working professionals as well. And this can be seen from the profession of a doctor or a lawyer, where we see that they use the term practice. That a doctor is not working as a doctor, but a doctor is practicing as a doctor. Similarly, a lawyer is practicing as a lawyer. And that is because the profession is such where every day they encounter a new set of challenges. A doctor comes across various different types of patients who have different sets of complexities, and no matter how big or experienced a doctor is, often he comes across situations where he has to consult with other doctors and take their advice on the patient. Similarly, if you are a lawyer, often they come across different cases where they have to take the advice of other lawyers or study further in depth the Indian law to understand how they can deal with this case in a better way, how they're going to present their case in the court in a better way. And even if other professions do not specifically use the term practice, it equally applies in all different forms of professions as well, because no matter where you are working, what kind of job you're doing, every day presents to you a newer set of challenges, a newer set of problems, and you deal with it. And the longer you work in any organization or on any particular project, the more exposure you're going to gain in your specific field of work, because every day you face different challenges. And therefore, with time, your exposure increases to such an extent that your experience grows to a much higher level, and therefore experienced employees have a much higher worth for their respective organizations, because the organization also knows that tomorrow if a complex situation arises, then it's that experienced employee who is going to help them and help the newer and inexperienced employees as to how they can overcome this specific problem. Therefore, friends, the importance of practice is relevant in all spheres of life. No matter what you do, no matter what kind of job you're involved in, or what you are studying, or what you are playing, practice is the only way that you gain expertise in your particular area of activity. Now, if you are a sportsman, there are various examples of sportsmen who, no matter how great they are, every day they spend a big chunk of their time practicing if they are not playing or representing their nation. Even if they're sitting free, enjoying a holiday at their home, every day they take out some time to practice. For example, such as Virat Kohli, people like Michael Jordan. They are greats in their game. They've achieved everything. The whole world knows them. They've earned a lot of money. They have earned a lot of fame. They're famous. They are the benchmark. But still you'll find that they are the most hardworking guys in their game. And that is because every man who is successful, every man who has achieved something in his life knows very well the importance of practice. Practice makes you perfect. practice has the power to transform average into excellence. And how much you're going to achieve in your life and how far you're going to reach in your studies or in your profession or in your game directly depends upon the amount of efforts you're putting in your area of activity. Most people, everybody puts in certain degree of efforts. Everybody goes through a certain degree of practice. But normal people put in average efforts. They put in average practice in their work, and therefore they get average results. However, abnormal efforts transform even the normal into abnormal. No matter how new you are.
Иди по персу тогда, ебашь. Нормально. Чисто для веб-сайта. Прикольное видео на самом-то деле.
This saying clearly puts out the importance of practice. You may know to do 1,000 things, but that makes no difference because there are 1,000 people who also know to do those 1,000 things. And you all are average in your category because none of you is an expert. None of you has an expertise in any of those things. However, one person who has done one particular thing multiple times, or who has put in a lot of efforts and practice into doing one thing many different times in his life, has attained that level of expertise in his work. And an expert always gets paid more than an average. An expert always commands more respect than an average. So anyone who does not want to live an average life, anyone who is not satisfied with average accomplishments, needs to understand the importance of practice. You need to put in a lot of practice, and you need to attain that level of expertise. And once you have done that, fame, success and wealth, you will find fame, success and wealth standing at your doorstep, because they are all byproducts of expertise.